And send it back to the analyst desk to break it down and close out the day.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. RNG with 6 straight wins. They're going to be happy about that, clinching their bracket stages and first seed for Worlds. But Deficio, the big question is, did we see positive trends?
We did see some positive things from G2, 100%. The problem is every time we saw something good, we saw something bad. And we kept going good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. I knew every single time they got a kill, I turned to you guys, I'm like, all right, very, very soon they will lose someone somewhere and randomly someone get picked off and yeah.
I can confirm, that is not a lie. Deficio was sitting here and every time something good happened, he's like, something bad is about to happen, something bad is about to happen.
Bad,
wait for it. But Spawn, honest assessment about this G2 roster as they're warming into the tournament, if at all.
So it looks like they can start to set up for some objectives. And what Deficio said is pretty much spot on, because what they do is they put in all the hard work, and it's so frustrating to watch them do it because, you know, they're taking the methodical step by step. They get what they're looking for, and then Emperor gets picked bottom lane by Mlxg and burns Flash, or he steps into a stun from Ekko just as they're doing all this hard work. And the problem is when you do that against teams like Flash Wolves, against teams like RNG, you elongate the game. So all of a sudden what was a 1,000 gold advantage goes to a 600 gold advantage, and it puts an extra couple of minutes on the game. And then they get you in this one late game team fight around Baron, and they just beat the absolute heck out of you because they're a better team fighting team than you are.
Yes, here's an example where we saw them be out team fought. That's where I want to turn to you, Clement, with RNG. You know, Jat and Pyro were talking about a little bit this idea that they can play to or they force you to play to their level. They force you to play the Chinese game. And again, we do see that everywhere from SKT to Flash Wolves to Supermassive and G2.
Exactly. I think they just engage so well. There's not many teams in the world where you can see them pulling off 3 or 4 flanks at the same time. The last Baron fight, you could see them coming in for 4 different directions. Like, Emperor had nowhere to go, and Kikis just couldn't peel for the right carries at the right time. And the way they held off the sieges, I think, was absolutely brilliant. They would have the Ekko behind, put a little bit of pressure, and then everyone take out the Azir turret, and then fall back, and then try to do it over and over again. I think G2 showed a lot of progress. They had a lot of good pushes, but they could never take it to fruition.
You speak of that final fight. Deficio, I want to throw it to you. We have a replay.
Why do I have to talk about it? We have to watch it again. Fine.
Right. Well, because it's something bad, right?
Yeah, you know, this was after some good things. We obviously got the bad one. The start is actually okay. Mlxg gets knocked into the wall, but he's still a Graves late game. And here's the problem. They go all in for Xiaohu on this LeBlanc, but he managed to escape, and now you're split up. And this pick composition with LeBlanc from obviously RNG and this style where we get these messy fights and each player can kind of win the fight on its own, it's exactly what they want. So as soon as that little engage on Xiaohu misses, the fight is basically lost for G2, but it's really, really close.
And AD carries around the world are sitting there looking at RNG saying, I want Wuxx's job. Because people are trying to kill Xiaohu. People are trying to kill Mlxg. Like, Lupa is so damn annoying, and Mata is just always stalwart in his defense of his AD carry. And Wuxx just lights people up that whole time. Like, no one is hitting him.
Speaking about Mlxg, early game, I actually feel like he does a lot of work for RNG, especially in this game. Because we have that lane swap, which technically is a good thing for G2, because it means at least they will be even with RNG. But what ends up happening is that G2 is so used to playing the European lane swap where no one takes any chances. It's all about pushing that tower. You never want to miss just 2 seconds on tower, so you never roam. Randomly, Mlxg level 2 ganks mid lane.
It's not random. They saw him at Wraith. He is definitely on that side of the map.
According to European lane swap, randomly he shows up, okay? Later on when they make another rotation and Emperor is in the bottom lane, Mlxg sits in the tri-bush, gets another kill. And these kind of plays is what I want to see from teams back in the EULCS when you try to break the habit, really. It doesn't have to be so stale and the same every time. And that's why G2 gets so surprised.
I hate to break it to you, Deficio, we're not in Europe anymore.
No,
it's
we'll
time
be at some
to start
point.
working outside of the European lane swap. Clement, final point here is...
It was actually a positive thing, by the way, for RNG. Man.
It is a very positive thing for RNG. I want to look at the jungle meta and the way it's developing, because we've seen Nidalee coming into the tournament, tons of priority placed on Nidalee. Still a lot of priority placed on Nidalee as a champion in terms of pick ban. However, not finding nearly as much success as we would have imagined. So do we expect this pick to kind of fall to the wayside as that kind of pokey, farm-heavy jungler?
Yeah, I do think so, because coming into the tournament, a lot of people were saying Nidalee was a must-ban for purple side, must-first pick, just because Kindred and Graves obviously got a lot of nerfs hit on them 6.7, 6.8. But now we're seeing that Kindred is like 8-2 in the tournament, and Nidalee has not been doing so well here. I really think like the Graves, like the early burst damage, like people like Karsa and Mlxg play it so well. That level 2 gank from Mlxg there was absolutely amazing, actually. I thought there was
Flash
snowball
cleanse, but
fast.
still securing the kill.
One thing I do want to caveat is we still have a couple of very good Nidalee players, and if it does fall to the wayside and people don't prioritize it, Mlxg will pick it up, as he did versus CLG, and eventually make you play for it. Nidalee played at the highest level, at least in my opinion, is still one of the best champions in the game.
Well, again, as long as the meta fits Nidalee. Again, that's the whole problem about this tournament. Everything we've seen in almost every region except for the LPL has changed, because Nidalee coming into this tournament was used as this high-pressure jungler. You don't really gank lanes, but you keep invading into enemy jungle. You have pushing lanes. You set up tower dives. Again, you force people off towers, and you can technically even play a game where you never have to team fight. You just take every single objective on the map. You snowball out of control with a high tempo. But here at MSI, we don't get these kind of games anymore. We've seen like once, and that's why Nidalee never finds really a place, because it's team fighting, then Graves and Kindred are just much better.
But QG still play Nidalee. They're one of the best team fighting teams the LPL has. I mean, when you look at RNG, they play Nidalee. Snake play Nidalee. This is not a new pick.
No.
Teams.
It is by
you
no
just
means
have to go
new.
Rylai's, Zhonya's. Stop building Rod of Ages on Nidalee.
Even
you cannot
then,
team fight with it.
Even then, if you look at the LPL, during the season with the team fighting teams, the Nidalee is never the reason you win a late game team fight. She might get you there where you can start team fighting, but she will never win it for you. And that's been the problem here.
All right, I almost regret asking the question. I didn't realize it was going to set you guys off so much.
No, it's a fun topic.
No, it is, yeah. It's important information to be known. Well, RNG picking up the 6th win of the day with more than half of the group stage behind us, though. Let's check out how the teams stack up. Royal Never Give Up, undefeated at 6-0. CLG and the Flash Wolves are locked up in second at 4-2. SK Telecom T1 2-4. That's a surprise. And G2 Esports and Supermassive tied at 1-5. I mean, gentlemen, again, we've hit on this all tournament long, but if you had told me that this is what the standings were going to look like at the end of day 3 of MSI 2016, I would have called you crazy.
And RNG are supposed to be inconsistent. Like, even when they're great, they are inconsistent but great. And to see them consistently win 6 games of League of Legends back-to-back, even if you are the most diehard Royal Never Give Up fan, that is a big surprise.
And I think the biggest thing, the scariest thing for me was the point you made earlier, Deficio, about for these bottom 2 teams that are looking to still possibly make a run into the bracket stage, the team that they're chasing is SKT of all teams. What is up with that, Clement?
I think they're definitely going to rebound. Like, SKT, they're coming in, they're kind of tired and sick, and I think a lot of the teams have identified Blank as a weak point. The Chinese teams, the LMS teams have been calling out Blank for being a weak point, and they are going to attack him in the jungle consistently over and over again.
Well, that being said, Bengi is here. Is there a possibility? Do we think that that's a place that SKT and the coaching staff should stretch towards in order to turn things around?
I don't think it hurts to bring him in, at least for one game, you know. Let him play one game. If he has a poor individual performance, maybe you have to go back to Blank. But sometimes just making a change can help a team a lot, because you need something new. Right now, Blank's confidence is probably at a 0, which could also then be a negative effect. I guess if you do swap him out, you're kind of telling him, hey, man, it's on you, a lot of it. So now we're telling you and the community and whatever. But that can be one of the problems.
The thing is, right, I don't know whether Blank is, like, he's a part of the problem, but he's not the overall problem, right? But you just explain it. You're not looking to blame him. You're just looking for the answer to the problem. And unfortunately, that means you need some more experience to help out with their shot calling. Sure. Because, like, I do agree that they have tried some different things. I mean, they were pretty much exclusively playing control mages. Faker plays 2 assassins today and is like, if we're going to lose the game, I'm at least going to, like, smash people. And they still lose 2 games. So, you know, this team is searching right now.
I don't think Faker's playing that well. I mean, yeah, we can blame Blank all we want.
I think his LeBlanc game was fine.
I think he had good picks on LeBlanc. I think he had very poor team fights.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, we've had 6 fantastic games today. We've got 6 more tomorrow. The action in Shanghai returns tomorrow, starting with a rematch between G2 Esports and Supermassive. Then China's Royal Never Give Up gets back on the Rift against the LMS's Flash Wolves. And we'll see SKT versus CLG round 2. Of these matches tomorrow, gentlemen, ones we're looking forward to the most.
Game 2.
Game 2?
I think it's easy to call right now, Clement. You have to agree with this as well. RNG versus the LMS's Flash Wolves one more time.
This time, at least, Maple at least gets a counter pick. So let's see what happens.
You know, funnily enough, RNG has to play both LMS and NA tomorrow, the 2 next seeds. So it's kind of an interesting preview of what might make some very interesting semifinals or finals for this tournament.
And also for RNG, locking in number 1, basically, if they manage to win these games. So no one can catch them. They guarantee that top seed as well going into the semifinal. G2 and Supermassive, basically, it's 2-0 or go home, I'm going to say, because I don't think SKT is not going to win a game anymore. And if they win one more game, you know, and G2 doesn't get a 2-0 here or Supermassive, well, you can't really catch them.
A lot on the line for all of these teams as they look for either positioning or just making it into the bracket stages. Our coverage of Day 4 begins tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. local time. That's 7:30 a.m. Central European Summer Time and 10:30 p.m. the evening prior for those in the Pacific Daylight Time. Now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew here in Shanghai, thank you for watching MSI 2016, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.